You don't have to answer immediately. Not every message deserves an instant reply. Not every question requires a detailed explanation. When you pause, when you take your time, you signal emotional control. It tells a man, I am not sitting around waiting for your attention. I respond when it suits me, not out of fear, anxiety, or desperation. This small act of delay shows that you value your time and subconsciously forces him to value it too. You stop rewarding bad behavior with instant access. You make him wait, and in waiting, his desire grows. It's not about playing games. It's about understanding your worth and acting like a woman who has options. The more secure you become in silence, the more power you hold in every interaction. The second action is walking away without explanation. When a man disrespects you, when he gives mixed signals, when he pulls away to test your emotional reaction, you don't beg, you don't plead, you don't type out an essay explaining how you feel. You simply disengage, silently, firmly, without drama. This is where most people fail. They want closure. They want to be understood. They want the other person to feel guilty. But a woman who truly values herself doesn't need validation through words. Her silence becomes the loudest response. Men remember the woman who left without begging. They question themselves. They analyze. They regret. Because your silence leaves space. And in that space, they realize your value. The third silent action is observation over reaction. Most people talk too much. They overshare. They react emotionally to every little thing. But you observe. You don't rush to assume or confront. You sit back, you analyze behavior, and you let patterns reveal the truth. A man starts pulling away. You don't chase, you observe. He says one thing and does another. You don't argue, you take notes and move accordingly. This quiet strength is rare and men can feel it. He knows you're not the type to be manipulated with charm. He knows you're not the type to fall for words without actions. You become unpredictable, mysterious, and in that mystery, your value multiplies. The fourth action is leveling up. In silence, when someone disappoints you, when a relationship ends, when he ghosts you, disrespects you, or underestimates you, you don't fall apart. You don't rant online. You don't post passive-aggressive quotes on Instagram. Instead, you go silent and work on yourself. You hit the gym. You improve your finances. You upgrade your style. You educate yourself. You heal. You evolve without saying a single word. And when he sees you again months later, you're no longer the same woman. You didn't get revenge. You became better. That's the highest form of silence, when your glow up says everything you don't have to. The fifth silent action is speaking less during conflict. Most women feel the urge to argue, to explain, to convince a man during emotional moments. But emotional discipline is power. When a man tries to argue with you, when he gaslights you, when he pushes you just to get a reaction, your silence becomes your sword. You don't argue. You don't try to change his mind. You don't justify your pain. Instead, you go quiet. You let him sit in the discomfort of your silence. You let him feel the weight of losing your energy. Men don't forget that silence, because silence makes them confront their own actions. You maintain your feminine energy by not descending into chaos, because in stillness you remain in control. The sixth silent action is you stop explaining your standards. There's power in saying, this is what I require, and not justifying it. A man who truly wants to be with you will rise to meet your standards. If you have to constantly explain, defend, or soften your boundaries, he's not your match. When you stop explaining, you stop negotiating your worth. You show silently that your standards are non-negotiable, and that silence, that unshakable boundary, it attracts the men who are ready to show up fully, because you're no longer seeking approval. You're living in truth, and only truth can meet you there. The seventh silent action is detaching with grace. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop clinging. You stop forcing. You stop chasing potential. You stop hoping that maybe one day he'll change. You accept what is, and you walk away with peace, not with drama, not with revenge, but with quiet dignity. Men notice when a woman detaches without chaos. It confuses them. It humbles them, because they expect drama, but you give them silence, and that silence burns deeper than any insult ever could. They don't forget the woman who let them go gracefully. The eighth and final silent action is being unavailable. Without explanation, you don't announce your moves. You don't tell everyone how busy or in demand you are. You just quietly pull your energy back from where it isn't valued. No More overextending. No more answering late night texts. No more being too available for someone who's inconsistent. You become rare. You become unpredictable. You become a woman of mystery and value. Men are wired to pursue, and when you pull back quietly, without making a scene, it triggers that instinct. They wonder, why is she different? Why doesn't she need me to notice her? Why does it feel like I'm the one being evaluated now? Because you've become the prize, and silence became your strategy. Let them feel your silence. Let them feel the weight of your absence. Let them realize your value, not because you told them, but because you walked away with quiet strength. That's how you become unforgettable. You don't have to scream your worth. You just have to embody it in every silent move you make. So remember these 8 silent actions, practice them, live them, and watch how the right men start valuing you more than ever. If you found this powerful, subscribe for more voiceover content on stoic strength, emotional mastery, and feminine power. Drop a comment. Which silent action resonated with you most? Until next time, walk quietly, move wisely, and never beg for what you deserve. You are the storm behind the silence. Own it.